Ricky, you good? All right, we're good. Good evening, everyone. This is the Monday, August 19th meeting of the Revere City Council Subcommittee on Appointments. This evening, we have several items before us, but I'll ask the clerk to call the roll of our committee members first.
Roll call of the committee members. Councillor Keefe.
Here.
Here. Councillor McKenna.
Here.
Here. Councillor Morabito is absent. Councillor Powers is absent. Councillor Guanasso. Here. And Chairman Janino. Here. Quorum is present.
And we're also joined by several colleagues in the council. Councillor Charlie Patch, Councillor Joanne McKenna. All right. First item on our agenda is a reappointment of Tufts Construction as a licensed drain layer. Is anyone from Tufts Construction here? Perfect. If you can come up and just state your name and address for the record. Great. And this is a reappointment.
Yes,
Does
it is.
anyone on the council have any questions of the applicant?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. All right. This will be voted out favorably by
Okay.
the subcommittee. It'll go to the council of the whole this evening, so there's no need for you to stay.
Okay.
You can follow up with the clerk after the meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is an appointment of Anthony Seth Varus of Main Street as a constable. Could you just come up and state your name and address for the record?
Anthony Veras, so 179 Main Street, Revere.
Great. And this is a new appointment.
Yes, it is.
Great. Well, thank you for coming before us this evening.
Thank
Do
you.
any council members have any questions? Councillor Keith.
Thank you, Madam President, Madam Chair. Mr. Veras, welcome to the council. Just out of curiosity, do you hold constable in any other cities and towns neighboring?
I do not.
And just out of curiosity, what's your wishes to do with this constable license?
Well, I lived in Kentucky for a while, and I worked with this court system there, and I help a lot of residents in the area. So, and I'm interested in helping. I love Revere. I was not born here, but I love there. I lived there for about 6 years now, and I would like to participate and help in the area as well, and work with all the constable.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other councilors? Well, I think it's great that you're active in the community and you're looking to be more involved, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Show of hands. All in favor? All opposed? So this will be taken up unanimously in favor by the subcommittee. It'll be voted out by the full city council this evening. There's no need for you to stay, but if you wish, you're more than welcome.
Great,
And
thank
you
you.
can follow up with the clerk after the meeting.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have one more item on the agenda, and that is the appointment of Sean Farrell Excavation as a licensed drain layer.
Good evening. My name is Sean from Sean Farrell Excavation from 53 Gilbert Street, Quincy, Mass. I'm just looking to renew my license.
Great, and this is a reappointment?
Yeah.
All right, and we're also joined by committee member Councillor Powers. Any councillors have any questions for this reappointment? Council President Guanasso.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. On the reappointment, are you currently performing any jobs in Revere?
I'm actually starting one at 225 Broadway.
225 Broadway?
Yes.
And what are you going to do?
I'm doing the site package, and when I take on the site package, I got to do the street work as well.
Okay. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you perform.
No
Do
problem.
a good job for our community.
I always do a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councillor Keith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a note for the record, he has been appointed prior. He let that lapse because of lack of work in the city, but coming back, he's had no issues with the city, so I'd be voting in favor of him tonight. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other committee members? Councillor Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. My only concern is with anyone that's doing site work, that once you're backfilling, it be compacted properly, and also the proper fill be put in there. I mean, if you're down in marshy area, I don't want to see the, old fill going in.
No.
Thank you.
We never do.
That's only my concern.
You
Thank
can check with Mark Cadarelli, the City of Boston. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming before us this evening. All in favor? All opposed? So this will be taken up unanimously in favor by the committee of the whole this evening. There's no need for you to stay, but if you wish to, you may. And the clerk will follow up with you after with any paperwork that needs to be done.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And we're also joined by committee member Councilor Morbido. This concludes the subcommittee on appointments. There's no further business. The regular city council will begin in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Revere City Council meeting of August 19, 2019. Those members of the audience, would you please join the Revere City Council in a salute to our flag? United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of the members. Councilor Janino.
Here.
Here, Councilor Keefe.
Here.
Here, Councilor McKenna.
Here.
Here, Councilor Morbido.
Here.
Here, Councilor Novoselsky is absent. Councilor Patch.
Here.
Here, Councilor Powers.
Here.
Here, Councilor Rizzo. Here, Councilor Rotundo is absent. Councilor Zambudo is absent. And Council President Guanasso.
Here.
Here, quorum is present. Calendar item number 2, approval of the journal of the regular meeting of July 29th, 2019.
Motion to
Favor,
approve.
opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 3, that the City Council awards certificates of merit to Joseph Singer and his children Mia and Dominic and his niece Jana for their efforts to save a child from drowning at Sandy Beach in Winchester last September.
I ask the Singer family to come forward, and also I ask Councilor Joanne McKenna to come up, as she is the maker of the motion.
Come on, girls and boys. Tom.
Councilor McKenna will make a brief presentation,
I don't know if it's
but
great.
I will read the certificate of merit as presented. In acknowledgement of exemplary, a distinguished and meritorious actions, special recognition is hereby afforded to Mia Singer. I'm using one name in particular, and this is for the whole family, so we won't read it again. On Saturday afternoon, September 1st, 2018, you saved the life of a 4-year-old boy at Sandy Beach in Winchester, Massachusetts, who had drowned. You quickly alerted your father that this young boy was underwater, excuse me, and without hesitation, he pulled him from the lake and began performing CPR, which ultimately led to the boy's survival. Your actions that day will forever be remembered. In witness whereof, the certificate of merit is gratefully bestowed upon by the mayor and the city council of the city of Revere, Massachusetts, on behalf of its citizens this 19th day of August, in the year of our Lord, 2019, and the independence of the United States of America, the 243rd. It was signed by Council President Arthur Guanasso, also signed by City Clerk Ashley Melnick, and also signed by the Honorable Mayor Brian M. Marigo, offered by Councilor Joanne McKenna. Councilor McKenna.
So I'm just going to say, it's not brief, but I'm going to just say what I feel in my heart. I just want you to know about Joe first. Joe Singer is an American hero. He really is. He won't tell you that because he's so humble. He really is humble. He doesn't want the praise. He doesn't want the credit. And it took me 1 year to get him up here to get this certificate. And he wanted the kids to be involved too, because the kids were involved. Just a little history about Joe. Right after 9/11, Joe was on the first wave to Afghanistan as a Marine. He did 2 tours. Joe was the first wave to Afghanistan, and the second tour he did as a sniper for the U.S. Embassy. He then came back to Revere and joined the Revere Police Department. So he has 3 saves under his belt. We're going to talk about one tonight. He's a living angel, I believe. So tonight I'm going to speak about the event that happened September 1st, 2018. Joe had the day off and he decided that he wanted to take the kids to the ocean, Revere Beach, to go swimming. Well, because of all the hype that were about the sharks, the kids didn't want to go to the ocean. So Joe decided, well, I'll take them to a lake. Instead of going to Breakheart, he goes to Winchester Sandy Pond, which he's never been there before. He's on the sand, the kids are in the water, and Mia stepped on a little boy that was submerged on the bottom of the lake. So right away, the kids ran a lengthy way to alert Joe, and first Joe's reaction was, oh, stop kidding around. And they were so adamant, he said, okay. So he ran in the water, he saw the boy, and he pulled him out. He did CPR right away, and he was calling for help. Crazy enough, there was a cardiologist on that beach that day and started taking over the CPR. Someone called the EMTs, Joe assisted with the defibrillator, and they shocked the little boy, and they got the pulse going. When the kid was in the hospital, when the child was in the hospital, the doctor said that this didn't look good for the kid because he was submerged so long under the water. But with God's help and everybody praying, the kid made a remarkable recovery, and he's running around and he's 100% fine. So I just want to say thank you. I believe there's no coincidences in our lives. I believe we're supposed to be there when we're supposed to be there. And these 4 people right here were at a place and time where they were supposed to be. So I just want to give you just a little more history. Joe was my student when I was at Revere High School, and oh my God. But anyways, he has proven to be one of the finest people that I know. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a picture now. You're welcome.
We'll hold one up, and we can take it for picture purposes. And Mia, you've been selected.
You can all hold it.
Count.
Put it. Can we have all the councilors up here, please? Zambudo. Yes. Brian. Chief, you want to get up here?
Can you get in here? Get close to me, Charlie. Get close to me. Push me off.
Can you get everybody? Good, that's great. What a nice picture.
Hold the position until the journal takes their picture.
Move the chair. Take the chair.
Hold it like this so it won't glare, so people can see it. Dominic, put your hand on that.
Tommy boy.
That's good.
Revere Journal ready? We're ready.
Can you get it? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wait a minute. Wait, the rest of them didn't get the Jana? Jana.
I'll be carrying it.
Dominic. And Officer Joseph Singer. Yeah, come on. All right, take it up. With us this evening in the audience is a very, very proud great-great-grandmother, former Ward 1 City Councilor Rita Singer, and she's going to come up to the podium and take a picture with us and the family in 2 minutes, as soon as we can get her to stop posing. Rita, Councilor Singer. The whole family's coming up. Tom, the whole fam- Good job today. Ariana. I can't believe your granddaughter's here tonight. Come on, kids, come up here.
I can get all the
Come on, Ward 1 Councilor.
I'm gonna get behind you.
get all the kids if you can get them all in. Get them in. Joanne, you come up here.
Can somebody get one of my
All right, all right. Where's my other son? David? David, come on up. Come on up, David. Get in here. He'll take it.
All right, Journal, are we ready?
Where's Nana? Why isn't Nana?
Say cheese. Cheese. Got it all? All right.
Wait a minute, hold on, one more for the Journal. Good,
Okay,
thank you
good.
very much. Thank you very much. Good job, very, very nice.
Thank you.
Good, good.
That's why I come up here. I come up here every year just for that.
What you gotta do. Thank you, Rita.
Go back to Florida?
Council will have a 2-minute recess. Back to the regular order of business. Calendar item number 4. Prior to taking up calendar item number 4, we're going to offer out a suspension rule. All in favor of suspension of rules? All in favor, all opposed, so order. It's ordered to take up calendar item number 15.
Calendar item number 15, communication from the Chief of Police relative to the FY19 JAG grant.
Chief Guido. Chief Guido.
Good evening, Mr. President. Every year we come before the council in regards to federal grant, the JAG money from Byrne, and we have formed the council, and once again I'm here to inform the council we put in for $23,067. And we're going to buy a motorized pedal bike, one for a trial, one camera. We keep expanding the camera program wherever we can cobble money together. And supplies for Officer Salvati for all his community engagement work, and a couple of other little items. So I just came up if there was any questions.
There's no questions, Chief. I think it speaks for itself. You explained what you're going to do with the funds. Thank you for the effort, and hopefully it helps to reduce crime within our community.
Okay, thank you, Council.
Thank you for your presentation. Place it on file. Motion to go back to regular order of business. All in favor, all opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 4, hearing called is ordered on the petition of National Grid to construct a line of underground electric conduits, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures under and across Ridge Road in accordance with the plan on file.
Anyone here from National Grid? Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Council. My name's Michael Cordima, National Grid Electric, 170 Medford Street, Malden. This petition we file on behalf of the customer seeking new power for their home to cross Ridge Road. The access was to cross Ridge Road to get to the secondary cables that provide power up that dead end. Thank you.
Any other proponents wishing to speak on behalf of this petition? Seeing none. Any opponents? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this particular petition? Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
So, who live in the house where they're going to...
State your name and address for the record, please.
Daniel Arroyev, 315 Ridge Road. Okay, so we just would like to know more about it, what they're going to be doing.
Are you an opponent?
Just we're here for the hearing, so...
You want to speak in opposition? You want to speak in opposition to, you don't want this to happen?
Point of information, he would like more information at being a
Councilor, I didn't give you permission. Wait, hold on, we're having a conversation. Because I understand the potential problem with the neighborhood in reference to this particular petition, because we're working behind the scenes now, because my understanding is this has already been done. And so National Grid took it upon themselves to do this project without even seeking approval of this council. So that's the nature of what I'm talking about here. And there's a neighbor who's offended by this, because what they did, if you're the neighbor, I'm not sure, they put the debris from the digging of the street onto this neighbor's lawn and didn't even clean it up.
Okay.
So I'm concerned with that. So this was a process that I was seeing proponents, opponents. Now, if you're the neighbor, the lawn's been disturbed by this, then I think you have serious rights for this. I think you have serious problems with this, because they took it upon themselves to do this without approval of this council, which and this council objects strongly to. I mean, what's the sense of having public hearings if they've done other things in our community that are very offensive to each and every one of us? So now they take this blatant event and turn it into a joke. And it's a serious matter for you people that were violated. So I think it's your opportunity here to hear from the petitioner how they're going to take care of your property, how they're going to fix it up. Could you please come back to the podium and state this? And then after that, I open it up to city councils, but I just wanted to give you a briefing as to what's been taking place on this, and I wanted you to be aware of what's been happening. How do you...
Councilors,
First of all, explain why you did the work without getting approval.
these petitions, like this one and the others that I'm here for, the customer does the work. This was an oversight on my part. I wrote this job up like in March. I did all the background work, but I forgot to assign it to a petition hearing. I apologize for that. The customer did do the work without our approval in that respect, but it was on the customer. They always dig. They always do that work. They break sidewalks, they repair them, and in this case, they dug the street. I wasn't aware of the debris on the customer's property. I can call this man and tell him to clean it up if it hasn't been done, but he should have been told to do that.
Well, what I've been told, there's some pretty serious damage to this man's property, and he's entitled to some sort of cleanup or repairing to the nature of the way it was before you people did that work. And I just find it very strange that all this work came down without
Point of order.
State your point, Councilor.
If he didn't petition the city and then he himself, through his corporation, they're also liable for whatever damages.
They're in this particular case, they're liable for everything. Councilor Keith.
The contractor.
Councilor Keith has the floor.
And the electric company.
Mr. President, obviously hearing about this a few weeks ago from Madam Clerk, I appreciate the honesty in coming forward to try to clarify this matter, but clearly it's not up to par, especially for the neighbors. I represent that area, as you know, and I'm not suggesting that this goes away, but I'd like to see happen at the very minimum, outside of whatever fines you're going to face or should face, is if you could schedule a meeting with the vendor that did the work, obviously without approval, yourself, the family members of the neighbors. If we could all go up there this week as soon as possible, I'll make myself readily available, and we get anything that needs to be buttoned up and cleaned up to the satisfaction of the neighborhood, taking care of that first immediately. Secondly, we can take care of the council business and any sort of paperwork that needs to be done, and I would expect that any fines due would be paid before any other projects are approved. So I can make myself available as soon as tomorrow morning, the next morning, whatever time is good, we'll go up there. But the neighborhood should be taken care of. Obviously, you know that this work shouldn't have been done. I know that it was probably an administrative issue, but the worst part of it all is it wasn't done well. And that's really the most disrespectful part of it all. I don't care of an administrative violation. That, to me, it's paperwork. It's shuffling paperwork. But when you upset the neighborhood and you don't complete the job properly, that's just complete ignorance. So I'm offering myself up, and I'd be happy to schedule with the neighbors to make sure that that gets taken care of, because anything outside of that is just, it's just not respectful.
So the neighborhood gets a hold with Councilor Keith, and you get together, and they'll speak with this gentleman here, and they'll rectify the problem and get this done as quickly as possible. You want to speak, sir?
Hi, I'm Jason Urich. I'm one of the neighbors.
Your name and address of the record.
Jason Urich, 315 Ridge Road. So for the record, the yard has been cleaned up.
It has been cleaned up?
It has been cleaned up and grass has been put over. So I just want to make sure.
Who did the cleanup?
I believe the contractor, but.
The contractor?
I believe so. I cannot tell you 100%. But it was cleaned up.
So it's restored to your satisfaction?
Correct. I believe the only remaining part is the street. It just has to be patched up properly. That's all.
So we'll get that patched up with Councilor Keith and get the whole thing rectified. Okay. And again,
and the driveway. So
and you get the driveway. Whatever has to be done to get it done, get it fixed.
Thank you.
We have another individual who wants to speak. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Santo Chiapina. It's my children's home. We're doing the work there. We did repair naturally their grass where it was torn up. They're great neighbors. They've been very patient. We're going to also take care of their driveway that was torn up a little bit, and that'll take place as soon as we're almost there. As soon as we get the front done with the landscaping and the sidewalks, then we're going to clean up that street and naturally put hot top on it. So we've been done our due diligence, and we're trying. And it's a very difficult street because there's so much going on for that house. They were constantly there doing stuff, and it's coming to the end. It's probably within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
We appreciate your appearance here. I would suggest and hope that you would work with Councilor Keefe.
Absolutely.
And keep in touch with him and obviously the homeowners who had the damage so that this can work out nicely and make an ugly thing pretty.
Absolutely, and they're
So I
great
applaud
neighbors,
you for
and
being here, sir.
that's what we intend to do.
I appreciate your appearance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next calendar item. Disposal is this to place on file. We can vote on it, vote it up. It doesn't have to go to committee. Unless Councilor Keefe wants to keep it in committee until resolution of the entire project.
Well, I don't think it's going to stall any more action since the actual work was already done. But I'd
Okay.
hold it in committee just because, well, actually, I'd like to see your recommendation, Madam Clerk, just to see if this would help clarify your matters or...
My opinion is to vote it out and you keep an eye on it. We can always call National
I'll
Grid.
circle back
Mr.
around and we'll follow up with the family.
Mr. President.
Councilor Zambudo.
Thank you. I think we can take Santo at his word. I believe that
I
they've
agree
already
with that.
done some work and they promised to make the neighbors whole. And I think everybody's in agreement. We don't want to hold up the power any longer.
I think that's a good idea.
And try not to make any administrative mistakes anymore.
Okay.
Mr. Giardino.
If I will.
Try not to make any more administrative
Through Mr.
mistakes.
Councilor Rotundo.
To Santo. Is this the Del Greco home that you're talking about? Yeah. These people, I have full faith that they'll fix this. So
Okay.
they're people of their word, so don't worry.
All in favor? All opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 5, hearing call addition of National Grid to construct a line of underground electrical conduit, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures under and across Rice Avenue in accordance with the plan on file.
Any proponents? State your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Mike Cordima, National Grid, 170 Medford Street, Malden. The customer, I think it's 215 Ridge Road or at Rice Ave, has built a new home. He wants to do a siphon service off a pole, an underground service. So he is responsible for breaking the sidewalk. He'll install his conduit to the pole and also do sidewalk repair. I believe he's talked to your city councilors about this.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any other proponents? Anyone wishing to speak in favor?
I have a couple of questions, if that's okay, Council.
This is the proponent side. Are you for this project?
I have to have my questions answered before I can make a decision whether I'm for or
Well, you
against.
can wait until after opponents have been heard, and then we'll hear that.
Sure.
Any opponents? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Any city councilors? Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is where a new house is being constructed, and I have every confidence that the fellow that's constructing the home will address this in an adequate way.
Okay.
I know what his concerns are, and I've spoken with him, and once again, I have every confidence that this will be done in a proper way.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
thing. Any other councilors wishing to speak? State your name and address for the record, please.
Eric Lampedecchio, 43 Tapley Avenue. Thank you for allowing me the leisure of asking some questions about this project. When we're looking at underground conduits on Rice Ave, Rice Ave is located within a flood zone, and although we've been lucky down there, I do have some concerns about what happens if that area floods. So can you just speak to the protections that would be installed and how that would protect the residents? So should a flood occur, I mean, we're talking about live conduits underground?
No, sir. One conduit.
It says underground electric conduits, plural.
That's just language that goes in all. What he's referring to is just language that goes into these petitions. This is just one 3-inch conduit for a residential service to come off a pole. It's nothing major.
Okay, through the
It's
chair.
underground,
Through
it just
the.
comes off the pole into the house.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think there's no reason that we can't vote on this evening. Pleasure of the council. Councilor Keefe.
I apologize. I know this isn't my ward. I just had a question in regards to this area. This is going to be, are you going to be polling underground conduits, or this is going to be
He
above
just
ground?
explained that he's not going
Oh,
underground.
okay, apologize. I was talking to the other constituents. Thank you.
That's what I'm
Appreciate
here
the
for.
clarifying. Thank you.
The wish of the president is that we vote on this evening. All in favor? All opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 6, hearing called is ordered on a joint petition submitted by National Grid and Verizon per request of the Revere City Council to relocate existing pole number 1676 along with wires and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across Oak Island Street in Revere.
Prior to this meeting, I will have to step up and say something again on this. Work has already been completed at the request of the city council. The city council asked for this. So just to bring to memory, this is what we asked for. It's already been done. All we're doing is we're going through the formality of approving it. Member from the National Grid, just give a brief presentation.
Mike Cordima, National Grid Electric, 170 Medford Street, Malden. Yeah, we're just following up with the city council on this, getting the proper paperwork for this pole relocation.
Thank you, we appreciate that. Since we requested it, we're in favor of it, obviously. There's no need to delay it any further. We requested this, it's been completed, we appreciate it. All in favor, all opposed? So ordered.
Pursuant to Rule 23 of the City Council Rules of Order, the following motions or communications are being reported out of committee with a recommendation to be placed on file. Calendar item number 7 is a motion presented by Councilors Keefe and Guanasso relative to a short-term rental ordinance.
Madam Clerk, I don't want to see this go away. I want this to be remain in committee with the hopes that we get an ordinance as soon as possible, because we're inundated with these types of property coming up all over. Short-term rentals are invading our community, and our residents don't even realize it, how many are occurring on a daily basis. So we want to see this enacted upon this ordinance as soon as possible. Please remain in committee.
Calendar item number 8, an ordinance further amending the zoning ordinances of the City of Revere relative to a 9-month moratorium on the granting of special permits for lodging and rooming houses.
This is an order to place on file. The 90-day period for the city council action is passing, cannot be voted on without ordering a new public hearing. So this is placed on file.
Calendar item number 9 is a special permit request to install small cell wireless equipment on an existing National Grid wood utility pole at the intersection of 116 State Road and 4 Unity Ave.
Again, this is a 90-day period for the city council action has passed. All we can do now is place this on file.
Calendar item number 10 is a request of Bernard Schramm of 257 Washington Ave Realty Trust for the purpose of considering the discontinuance and abandonment of a certain portion of Lincoln Street as illustrated on the petitioner's plan.
This is going to remain in committee.
In committee. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Calendar item number 11 is a special permit request of Mobility to install a small cell antenna and associated equipment on an existing utility pole on Pleasant Street near the intersection of Broadway.
Again, the 90-day period for the city council action has passed. There's no action to be taken by the city council. Place it on file.
Next up is the Appointments Subcommittee report.
Chairwoman, Councilor Janino, do you have a report for us?
We do. So earlier this evening, prior to the council meeting, the subcommittee on appointments met. We had 3 items on our agenda this evening. The first was calendar item 19-141. This was a reappointment for Tufts Construction. He appeared before us, and this was taken up unanimously in favor. The next item was an appointment of Anthony Barras of Vane Street in Revere as a constable. This is a new appointment, and this was also taken up unanimously in favor. And the third is, it's considered a new appointment, but this gentleman had a permit with the city in the past. It lapsed due to no work in the city, and he's coming back. So it's a new appointment, but it's not his first time with a license in the city. For Farrell Excavation out of Quincy as a licensed drain layer. This was also taken up unanimously in favor by the subcommittee this evening. Mr. President, I ask that we take these all up together in favor.
If there are no objections, to take this all up as one, we're going to take them as one. All in favor? All opposed? All appointed.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Calendar item number 16, communication from the Election Commissioner requesting approval of the warrant for the city preliminary on Tuesday, September 10th, 2019.
On the communication, all in favor? All opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 17, communication from the mayor relative to the Collation of Police AFL-CIO Memorandum of Agreement.
It shall the City Council approve the appropriation necessary to fund the memorandum of agreement between the Coalition of Police and the AFL-CIO and the City of Revere. A roll call order is in order.
On the motion, Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Keefe?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McKenna?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Morbido?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Novoselsky is absent. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers is absent. Councilor Rizzo?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Rotundo?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes, the appropriation has been approved. Calendar item number 18, communication from the mayor relative to the reappointment of Jeff Perlman to the Historical Commission and recommendation to nominate Mr. Perlman as the City of Rivere's official historian.
Referred to Appointment Subcommittee.
Calendar item number 19, motion presented by Councilors Rizzo and McKenna that the mayor request the DCR, in conjunction with the City of Revere, to place a plaque on the wall diagonally across from Kelly's Roast Beef, dedicated to and in memory of the many men and women who use that wall as a source of healing and camaraderie following formal sobriety meetings.
Councilor Rizzo.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Very briefly, this was at the request of a couple of people who used to assemble there, still assemble there, after formal meetings to help beat their various addictions. And so that wall holds special meaning for these people. And from what I'm told, there are a lot of people who have assembled down there. So I think this would be a very appropriate reminder and encouragement to those who need it. So hopefully this is something the City Council can approve and vote on favorably.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I guess this has been going on for 40 years. I didn't even know this existed, but it's called the Sober Wall. And after AA meetings, these people would go down and just gather and support one another. They call it their sacred place. So with, just a little plaque or something, just to say that this is the Sober Wall, and for those people, they said thousands of people gathered there after AA meetings, or they had AA meetings there, had coffee. So this would be great, just to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Zambudo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to congratulate my colleagues on the motion. It's a great motion. I dare say that the sober people that hang out at that wall would be there for the next 40 years, whether we put a plaque or not. But it is a tradition, and I think it's nice to recognize it. And maybe for the newcomers, they could get a little encouragement by it. So again, thank you. Good job.
Makes the wall more meaningful. And it's ironic that today, I opened today's mail, and I got an invitation to attend this year's meeting. And I certainly will be in attendance, as many of the councilors always are. And I think it's one that reflects, it's a great moment of reflection for people who have suffered such a thing. And I dare say, and it's kind of it's kind of crazy to think this, but there aren't very many families who have escaped this. It's an unbelievable thing, whether it be alcoholism or addiction to some drugs. It's within our society, and it's a great thing that when we come together to, just remember those who have passed, and hopefully those in the future will learn from that. And I think this little plaque that you want to put there be more meaningful. I think it puts meaning to that, and for those observers who don't know what that is, it brings a little light to that spot, and I think it's a great motion. Thank you. Councilor McKenna.
I was informed tonight by school committee man Fred Sinella that there are parcels down there, and they're numbered. So he suggested it would go to parcel 7, which is across the street from Kelly's. But the parcels are numbered. So he asked if it would go to 7 so it wouldn't clutter up. I guess there is a couple of plaques down there, memorial plaques. So
Well, there's a memorial plaque in honor of his
Grace
wife. Yes,
and Ian.
very aptly so.
And I forgot his name. He used to be a principal. His wife was
Yes,
killed down there.
Fox.
Maganello.
Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, on the motion, all in favor? Councilor Powers, you want to say something?
Yes, I certainly, I think this is a great idea on the part of the councilors that submitted this motion. Again, I would just ask that, and there are several plaques down there, and I think this is, once again, it's a great idea, and I think this should be put in an area where it will not, overcome the other plaques that are down there, and it'd be a plaque that would be easily recognized by people going through there, and perhaps in an area that could be a gathering place for people who have addiction problems or alcohol problems, and I wholeheartedly recommend this thing. And I realize we're having that, I think it's the 17th, is the
15th.
15th, okay, that's the date for the memorial at the bandstand down there. This might be another area that could be used there at some point for that particular purpose. Thank you.
On the motion, all in favor? All opposed? So ordered. The next two motions, we're going to be very lucky. They're Councilor Novoselsky's, and he's asked that we vote on these. But you know what? We're not going to hear 20 minutes. And I told him I would say this, and he said, "You're not going to say that." I said, "Yeah, we're going to save 20 minutes of the taxpayers' dollars, and but we're going to approve your motions." Okay. Madam Clerk.
Calendar item number 20, motion presented by Councilor Novoselsky that the mayor request the MBTA to clear the debris from the sides of the tracks of the Blue Line from Wonderland Station to the Revere Beach Parkway Bridge behind the Garfield School. Councilor Zambudo is recused from discussion on this motion.
Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Are you taking Ira's place?
No, I'd like to amend that motion. We had a motion in, and nothing has happened yet, to have them go down from the length of Arcadia Street all the way down on the east side of Arcadia Street, and back there, it's all National Grid property, and it goes all the way down to the Eastern County Ditch. And the people, they've been dumping stuff in there for a long time now, and it's about time they stood up and cleaned their property like any other citizen in this city does. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. On the state your name and address for the record, please.
Eric Lebedecchio, 43 Tapley Avenue. Thank you, Council Powers, for bringing that up. I actually have a ticket in with the city, ticket number 18306, about some of the dumping that's taking place back there. The other complaint is that the land is not level either, so it's now fostering pools for mosquitoes, so we're hoping to get all that cleaned up. Thank you.
And the motion as amended by Councilor Powers. All in favor, all opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 21, motion presented by Councilor Novoselsky that the mayor request the police chief to install a security camera on Walnut Ave on the pole at the dead end across from 255 Walnut Ave to view and stop the ongoing drug deals.
On the motion, all in favor, all opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 22, motion presented by Councilor Rotundo that the City Council award certificates of merit to Jay and Carrie Basford of Everett, Mass. for their heroic efforts in saving the life of a shooting victim on North Shore Road in Revere.
Councilor Rotundo.
Speaks for itself. I'll
Motion speaks for
save my
itself.
comments
All
for
in
that
favor?
night. Thank
All
you.
opposed? So ordered.
One late motion presented by Councilor Rotundo that the mayor be requested to clarify the following. Is Revere on the Move and Revere Youth in Action receiving any local or state funds? Further, which department do these programs fall under?
Councilor Rotundo.
Sure enough, I was given a document the other day, and actually I showed Councilor Zambudo. And this particular document, Build One Community Power Vote, and it says that it's run by RIA, or Revere Youth in Action, and has a Gmail account of the Revere Election Commission. Now, if this is a separate group unto itself that receives both state and federal dollars through an NGO, then they should probably have an account that is of the government sort, because you would want to know who's getting absentee ballots for who's doing what.
Right.
And someone had made some concern about that. There's other concerns about other particular groups in the city that operate in that manner, and that's being looked into as well. So the last election, we had a group that was basically run by neighborhood, developers, and they were a little sneaky as far as I was concerned. So I'd like to see who this is. Thank you.
Okay, Counselor. All in favor? All opposed? So ordered. And the City Council is going to stand adjourned until September 16th. But prior to that meeting, the City Council has a primary. So we are going to wish all the members of the City Council well in your primary concerns, and hopefully everything will go well for you, and all those that are vying for their positions, I hope them good luck. And we wish, as a council, we wish the whole community a safe and happy Labor Day. Thank you.